Thank you for joining me today. In today's class, this is part of our Yoga for Anxiety series. We're going to focus on postures that help us to feel supported, grounded, secure, and also increase our connection with ourselves, with others, and the world around us. Okay, so for today's class, we're going to start with a mudra. It's called Kanistha Mudra. For Kanistha Mudra, you want to bring your hands in front of your solar plexus, and then you're going to make fists with all of your fingers except for your little finger. Okay, so Kanistha Mudra is also known as gesture of the little finger. So the little fingers are going to extend towards one another, and then you're going to connect the tips, the very tips, the pads of those little fingers. Okay, and then just go ahead and rest that right at the solar plexus. And then when you're ready, you can invite your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. So Kanistha Mudra helps us to tap into the pulse of the earth. When we can tap into the pulse, the vibration of the earth, it helps us to feel grounded, supported, and secure. Helping us to connect with the earth, with other beings, and ourselves. As you continue to hold Kanistha Mudra, take several breaths. Notice how your breath is naturally drawn downward to the base of your body and pelvis. See if you can start to lengthen your exhalations in comparison to your inhalations. For example, you could count in your mind, inhale for 2, exhale 2, 3, 4, or inhale for a count of 3, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Finding a count that's working for your body and your breath that feels comfortable so you're not straining on your exhalations. Continue with this breathing. Breathing in and out of the nose, lengthening your exhalations. Start to feel and notice the support of the earth beneath you. Feeling your sitting bones rounding down into the earth, rooting down evenly. Feeling supported, feeling safe and secure by the earth completely. Now start to think of the people in your life, your friends, mentors or teachers, loved ones, that help you to feel supported on your journey. Knowing that even in the toughest of times, you are not alone. Continue to breathe and notice your breath being drawn down into the pelvis. Now take a moment to feel the support of these people in your life that help you to feel secure. Still breathing, lengthening the exhalation in comparison to the inhalation. Rooting down into your sitting bones, feeling supported, secure, safe, and connected. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and release the mudra Resting the hands in the lap or the tops of the knees or thighs. Just take a moment now with a natural breath to just sit, observe, and notice how you feel. Rooting down into the sitting bones, lengthening up through the crown of the head, allowing your shoulders to relax down the back and away from your ears. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, sigh the breath out of the mouth and open your eyes. Bring your awareness back to the room and the space around you. All right, wonderful job at home. So let's go ahead and continue on here. So we're going to move into some neck stretches. We're going to take an inhale to sit up nice and tall and lengthen. And then on your exhale, go ahead and tuck your chin in towards your chest. So you're lengthening in the back of the neck. At the same time that you're dropping your chin down, try to lift your sternum, lift the chest up towards the chin simultaneously. Inhale, bring your head back up to neutral. And then from here, before we continue on, since we've been sitting like this for a while, go ahead and switch the crossing of your legs just to create a little bit more balance in the body on both sides. All right. And then we'll inhale, sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, go ahead and drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more here, then you can take that right hand and place it on the side of the head, using that hand as a gentle weight. You might even want to walk your left fingertips out away from your body. You're feeling a nice stretch in the neck. Maybe even traveling down that extended arm as you inch those fingertips away from you. And then we'll inhale, come back to center. Exhale, coming right into that second side. And the same options here. This might be enough for you at home, or if you're looking for a little bit more, we'll inhale, sweep the left arm around, and then exhale, maybe inching those right fingertips away from your body. Now this top hand, like I mentioned before, we're using it as a gentle weight. So you're not trying to crank the ear down towards the shoulder necessarily, but it's just a little pressure. And something that I like to think about, at the same time that you're using that hand, you're also pressing the side of the head back into the hand. There's a little bit of resistance there. All right, and then let's inhale back to center, release. And then on your exhale, go ahead and look past your right shoulder. Trying to line up the chin with the shoulder. Sitting up nice and tall. And then inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Still rooting down into the sitting bones, feeling supported, connected. Inhale back to center. And then from here, let's go ahead and make fists with our hands right in front of the body. We're going to rotate the wrists around, starting to wake up the joints. You may hear some creaking or cracking perhaps in the wrists. All right, let's go ahead and reverse, go the other direction with your movements. All right. Go ahead and release that. And then from here, let's take the tops of the hands to touch. The palms are facing out to the side. Elbows are also out to the side. And you're going to roll your wrists around. So the wrists stay in contact the whole time that you do this. Okay. And then we'll reverse and go the other direction. Go ahead and finish up with this last one and come back to center. You might want to shake out the wrist just a little bit. From here, bring the hands to the tops of the thighs. We're going to move into some cat-cow in a seated position. So you're rooting down into those sitting bones. Press into your thighs. As you inhale, draw your chest to open. As you exhale, round, lean back. Inhale, arch maybe looking up to the ceiling. And then exhale, rounding your spine, bringing the chin towards the chest. Inhale, arching, drawing the chest open. Exhale, round. Go ahead and do a couple more like this. We're going to do an add-on here in just a moment. And see if you can let your breath guide you here. And so everything that we do in this class today will be initiated by our breath first. And I really want you to think about slowing down the breath. So we're not rushing through the movement. We're not rushing our breath in any way. At this point, you should find a comfortable, even breath. All right, so from here, we're going to move into that add-on. I want you to think about doing some rolls with your hips, just some big circles as you do that cat-cow movement. So it's a little bit more organic. Okay, so you're leaning over to the right, and then coming forward and arching, and then exhaling over to the right and rounding, taking it all the way around, inhaling, arching. Let's do one more exhale. We're going to go the other way. So the next time that you inhale and arch, pause there, and then exhale, take it to the other side. This should feel pretty good. Getting some movement in the pelvis and in the back, but still all the while rooting down into those sitting bones. So we keep that sense of stability even through the movement. Let's go ahead and do one more. Beautiful job at home. And let's go ahead and spiral it on back to center. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and inhale and reach the arms up overhead. As you exhale, bring the right hand down. Inhale, reach up through your fingertips. Exhale, reach over to the side. Just getting a nice stretch in the left side of the body. Actively reaching up through the fingertips of your top hand. And then maybe even drawing your chest to open. And then inhale back to center, reach both arms up overhead, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the right. Pause on the inhale, root down into your sitting bones. And as you exhale, perhaps you twist just a little bit deeper. And again, all the while you're staying rooted into the sitting bones, you're reaching up through the crown of the head, creating length. Inhale back to center, reach both arms up overhead. Exhale, left fingertips come down. Inhale, pause to lengthen through that right arm. And then exhale, reach over to the left side of the room. Now, as long as you feel stable and rooted on this side, you can start to draw your chest to open towards the ceiling. Breathing into the right side of your body. And think about rooting down into that right sitting bone. Inhale back to center, reach both arms up overhead. As you exhale, press out through the palms, release the hands down. All right, nice job. Let's go ahead and come off of our props if you're using those at home. Just pushing them over to the side in case you need them later. And we're going to come onto all fours next. So just finding your tabletop, palms are underneath the shoulders. Spread your fingers out wide apart. Knees are directly underneath the hips. Let's take a full breath here. And then exhale your breath out completely. And as you exhale, think about gently drawing your navel in towards your spine. So your core is active and engaged. Okay, we're going to keep that little lift with the navel drawing in towards the spine. And we're going to root down into the left knee. As you inhale, lift and extend the right leg back. So you're pressing out through the right heel, toes are pointing towards the earth, hips are level. Now you might just want to stay here today, especially if balance is maybe a little bit of an issue. Otherwise, if you want to add on, then you can inhale and reach the left hand forward. Find a gazing point just forward from the top of your mat, so you're keeping that natural curve in the back of the neck. Continue to draw the navel in. Invite the ribs closer together. See if you can find that sense of stability and support here. Even though we're challenging ourselves a little bit, finding the calm in the chaos. Take one more breath. Exhale, gently release everything down. Take a full inhale to pause. And on your exhale, lower your hips back towards your heels, coming into child's pose. See if you can rest your forehead directly on the mat. And if you're having any trouble getting the forehead there, you might want to grab your block and you can place that right underneath the forehead. When we put gentle pressure on our forehead, it has a calming effect to the mind. If you don't have a block at home, you could always stack your forearms instead and rest your forehead there while you're in your child's pose. Okay, and then from here, let's go ahead and inhale. We'll shift forward, find our way back into tabletop, so we can do that all on the second side. Okay, so find that little bit of a lift in the abdomen where your navel draws in towards your spine. The ribs are drawing closer together. So we're creating that stability right in the center of the body. Let's root down into the right knee, and as you inhale, lift and extend the left leg back. Press out through the top heel, hips are level. Okay, now you might just want to stay here. This could be enough for you at home. If you're looking for a little bit more, you'll inhale and reach that right hand forward, coming into the full expression of spinal balance. So you're continuing to breathe evenly and deeply, finding the calm through the chaos, breathing in through the nose, exhaling out the nose. Beautiful job at home. Take one more breath here. Exhale, gently release everything down. Inhale, pause here on your tabletop. Exhale, once again, let's take a recovery pause in our child's pose. Lower your hips all the way back towards your heels. And make sure, again, you have some kind of support underneath the forehead if you need it, either using your mat, your block, or your forearms. And then on your inhale, let's go ahead and shift forward, coming into our tabletop. All right, I want to move into a little bit of a cat-cow flow here in tabletop, similar to what we did before on our mat when we were in seated, but just in a different position here in tabletop. So palms are under shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. From here, inhale, drop your belly down to arch. As you exhale, you'll round your spine and lower your hips back towards your heels. And then right away on your inhale, shift forward. Drop the belly down, arch. Exhale, round, tuck the tailbone down, lower hips all the way back towards the heels. Inhale, shift forward, drop the belly down, crown of the head and tailbone towards the ceiling. Exhale, round, child's pose, hips all the way back to the heels. Let's do one more like this, and we'll do an add-on. So shift forward, inhale, belly drops down. Exhale, round, hips back towards the heels. Inhale, shift forward. Go ahead and drop the belly down. And then this time on your exhale, I want you to think about bringing the right hip over to the right. So we're doing some big rolls with the hips. And then coming forward. And then when you get into the full tabletop, drop the belly down to arch. Exhale, right hip over to the right, hips all the way back to the heels. Continue that circle, left hip over to the left. Inhale, belly drops. Exhale. So I like to think about this on the inhale, that's when I'm swinging back around gently and arching. And then on the exhale, I'm bringing the hips back towards the heels in child's pose. So you're exhaling as you shift back, inhaling as you shift forward. And then let's go to the other side, just reversing. And again, these are just very organic movements. There's really no wrong way to do this. It's just what feels good in your body. Beautiful job. Let it be initiated by your breath. So it's slow movements. We're not rushing anything. Taking our time, really noticing and feeling what's happening in the body, in the pose, and notice your breath. Let's go ahead and do one more in this second direction. And then the next time that the hips come back to the heels, again, let's just pause. And then let's inhale, go ahead and shift forward, coming into your tabletop. Okay, from here, we're going to step our right foot forward. Now, you might want to wiggle it or even grab that foot and help it forward if you need to. Okay, so you're in a little lunge here, more of a box lunge, not so much a deep hip lunge. Bring the hands on top of the thighs. So if you notice, I have my left knee right under my left hip. Okay, so we're not hinging forward. Like I said, more of that box lunge. And then you'll curl the back toes under. And if you have something next to you for support, you can hold on to it. Otherwise, just go ahead and lift that back knee up and you'll just walk yourself forward, coming into Tadasana, standing mountain pose. So you're at the very top of your mat. The hands are reaching forward. Shoulders are dropping down the back and away from the ears. Now we're going to take a moment here to find something called Pada Bandha. Okay, so Pada Bandha is one of our energy locks that we have in the body. And when we do Pada Bandha, it helps us to feel supported and connected to the earth. Pada means foot. So this bandha is practiced in our feet. Okay, and it really helps with our posture. And again, like I said, just finding that sense of stability and support from the earth. So your hands are reaching forward. The palms are facing towards the front of the room. And then you have a little bend into the knees so we're not locking out the knee joints. And I want you to go ahead and either invite your eyes to close. This is a little meditation practice. So either eyes are closed or you can find a soft gaze. Now, if balance is an issue for you and you need to keep your eyes open, that's fine. Just look down towards the floor so that you have something to focus on. And looking down is always more grounding because, again, we're more connected with the earth when we look downward. All right, so either with your soft gaze or your eyes closed, go ahead and notice your feet. Go ahead and lift up all your toes. And spread your toes out wide apart on your mat. Keep your toes lifted. And then I want you to bring awareness to the big toe side of your foot. So we're working with the ball of the foot, but it's right underneath that big toe. Root down into the ball of the foot on the big toe side. And then let your awareness travel over to the pinky side of the foot. So right underneath the pinky toe, just start to root down to the outer edge of that foot. And now let your awareness travel to the heel, to the very back of your foot. Imagine that there are 2 points, the back of your heel, and you're rooting down into those 2 points. Now, you have 4 points in all, and imagine that you're distributing the weight evenly throughout the 4 corners of your feet. All the while, you're keeping your arches lifted as you root down into these corners. So this is Pada Bandha. Just notice how you really feel rooted and grounded as you engage these corners in your feet and you lift up through your arches. Now, still engaging Pada Bandha, I want you to start to lower your toes down. Start with your pinky toe first. And then just work your way slowly until you eventually get to your big toe. And so you'll notice the toes are gripping just a little bit, but it's almost effortless. Continuing to feel that support, connection, and security from the earth beneath you as you stand tall in your mountain pose. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. If you had your eyes closed, go ahead and open your eyes back up. Nice job. Okay. All right. So from here, at the top of our mat, we're going to take a step back with our left foot, finding warrior one. Okay. So front knee is bent, and that front knee is directly over the front ankle. Go ahead and bring your hands right to your ribs. So not really the hips, but just those lower ribs. And bring the right side of your rib cage back and the left side of your rib cage forward. So the shoulders are squaring forward towards the front edge of your mat. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Now in our front foot, we're finding Pada Bandha again. So find those 4 corners in your front foot. It might feel a little different now because we're in a different position in this warrior one stance. But see if you can find those corners. You can even lift up the toes if you find that helpful. You'll notice right away when you lift up the toes that the inner arch will help to lift up. But then see if you can lower the toes back down while keeping the inner arch lifted. And you're still rooting down into those corners in your feet. Now the back foot's a little different. We want to think about sending some weight to the outer edge of the back foot just because of the position that we're in right now. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, goalpost arms, draw your chest to open towards the ceiling. Keep your elbows lined up with your shoulder joint. And as you kind of lean back into it a little bit, keep your navel drawing in towards your spine. Invite your ribs closer together so we're protecting our back. Find a gazing point that feels good and comfortable for your neck. Let's see if we can stay here for 3 more cycles of the breath. Breathing in and out of the nose. Even counts for the inhales and the exhales. Finding that calm in the chaos. Beautiful job there at home. Let's go ahead and inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, we're gonna open out into warrior 2. So just widen the distance of your feet. Bend deeply into the front knee. When you're ready, you can go ahead and take your gaze out that front middle finger. So in yoga, we have these tools called drishtis. Drishtis are focal points. And this one, as I mentioned, it's the front middle finger. And it just lets us have a focal point in our practice so that we're trying to release any outside distractions, any worries or concerns, and just focus on being present here in this practice of yoga. Yoga means union. So we're connecting and uniting with our true selves, feeling that connection that we talked about earlier. Also the connection with other beings and the connection of the earth beneath you. Let's go ahead from here, inhale, straighten out the front leg. Exhale, turn the toes in. We're just gonna take that right into the other side. So you can come to the back edge of your mat. Now we're coming into it a little differently. So if you need to, take a moment to set yourself back up. So we have that nice bend into the front knee. That knee is right over the ankle. Okay, find Pada Bandha in the front foot. If you want to go ahead and lift up those toes again, you can. Keeping that inner arch lifted and then lowering the toes down when you're ready. Remember, we're sending a little bit more weight to the outer edge of the back foot here in this warrior pose. And very gently invite the right side of the rib cage forward and the left side back. All right, nice job. And then when you're ready, inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, goalpost arms. Draw the chest to open. Elbows are lined up with the shoulder joint. Keep drawing the navel in. Hip pointers draw closer together. Find that stability, that connection. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, open out into your warrior 2. So widen the distance of your feet. Now for some of us, the front heel might be lined up with the arch in the back foot. For others, it might feel more comfortable to line up the front heel with the back heel. It doesn't really matter which way you do it, but just make sure that you feel stable here. You feel grounded. Okay, find Pada Bandha again in that front foot. Send that weight to the outer edge of the back foot. Focal point is on that front middle finger, your drishti. And you're breathing evenly and deeply. Nice job. Go ahead and straighten out the front leg. Turn those toes in. Bring your hands to your hips. And we'll just do a little bit of internal and external rotation here to come back to our Tadasana pose. All right. Find your way back to the top of your mat. We're going to do a couple of standing balancing poses. So if you're at home and you know that balance sometimes can be a little tricky for you, feel free to come to a wall or something that you can hold onto, or a piece of furniture that's stable. Okay. At the top of the mat, start to root down into your right foot. Okay, see if you can find Pada Bandha in the right foot. And then you'll curl the toes of the left foot, bring that heel right there to the ankle. The knee just naturally points out to the side. And then this could be your tree pose, or if you want to move on, maybe the foot comes to the calf, or maybe even to the inner thigh. And you're still engaging Pada Bandha. You're still rooting down into that standing foot. Notice how it feels a little different just being on one foot. But you can still find it. Now your hands can stay on your hips, or you can bring your hands to your heart in Anjali Mudra. Another option, if you're feeling stable, is you could choose to grow out your branches. Reaching up through the fingertips, continuing to root down into that standing foot. Now notice the polar opposites in this tree pose, this rooting down sensation, that feeling of being grounded and stable. At the same time, the polar opposite of this lift, the sense of expansion in your upper body as you reach out through your fingertips. Take another breath here. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, turn that knee forward. Release and shake it out. Might feel a little burn in that standing foot. That's good. We're waking up those muscles. Okay. All right. Second side. So we're going to root down now into the left foot. Curl the toes of the right foot. Find Pada Bandha first. You always want to find your sense of stability and groundedness first before you build. So you want to find that firm foundation. And then once you know you got it and you're ready, you can go ahead and move the foot up if that's where you're going next. Okay. And just remembering that sometimes trees, even though they're stable, they do sway. So you might notice a little sway in your body. So the idea is not to really be as rigid as you possibly can be here, but to find that stability without being rigid. So let there be a little bit of movement if that's where your body needs to go, a little bit of a sway. Rooting down into that standing foot, keeping the inner arch lifted. Nice job. All right, so let's take another breath here. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, turn that knee forward. See if you can bring it up to hip height. Exhale, land softly, shake it out. All right, I want to do one more standing balancing pose because these are really so good for grounding and feeling stable. All right, so from here, again at the top of the mat, bring the hands to the hips. Let's root down into the right foot first. Find Pada Bandha. Should be a little bit easier to connect with it. And again, if you ever are having trouble with that, just lift up the toes. That will automatically help you to root down into those corners of your feet. Okay. When you know you got it, let's go ahead and bend the left knee and reach back for the top of the foot. Now, if you're at home and you have any trouble reaching for the foot, that's where a strap can be wonderful, or a tie or whatever you have, and you can just put that around the ankle, and then you can reach back this way. So this is just another way that you can come into the pose. Okay, so just know that that's an option. So with or without the strap, think about pressing the foot either into your hand or into the strap. Let that start to draw the knee and the quadricep back. Now you could choose to stay here or inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Keep your hips level. Keep rooting down into that standing foot. Feel all those muscles in your leg and your foot working to keep you supported and lifted. Inhale to center. Exhale, release, shake it out. Again, you might feel a little burn there. It's a good thing. Okay, second side. Root down into the left foot. Bend the right knee. Reach for the top of the foot. Use that strap if you need to. Let's just pause here for a moment. Make sure you're stable first before you add on. Root down into the foot. And stay here. Or inhale, extend the left arm up. Exhale, little hinge forward at the hips. The chest is still open, so this becomes a back bend. So you want to think about drawing the navel in, knit the ribs closer together to protect your back. Keep pressing the foot into the hand. Little bend into the standing knee so we're not locking out the knee joint. Inhale to center. Exhale, release, and shake out the feet. All right, we're going to take it down now to do some finishing postures. So let's come to the top of our mat, and we'll inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, keep your knees bent on your way down to protect your back. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, plant your hands down. I want you to just take a step back, one foot at a time, coming down onto the knees. So you're back in tabletop, and then we're going to lower the hips back to the heels so that we can come all the way down into a seated position. Okay. Now from here, let's go ahead and bring the soles of the feet to touch, coming into Baddha Konasana. If you want to elevate your pelvis, you can use your blanket to sit up a little bit higher. Okay. Now from here, let's go ahead and open the feet up like a book. Take an inhale to sit up nice and tall and lengthen your spine. If you're feeling enough, you might want to stay here, or exhale if you're looking for a little bit more option to hinge forward at the hips. Now, it does not matter how far you fold forward. More importantly, you want to shift your weight back into those sitting bones. So you're feeling grounded and you're feeling supported. Continue to shift the weight back into the hips. And then on your inhale, come all the way back upright. Now from here, you can stay the direction that you are at home. I'm just going to move so you can see a little bit better. We're going to come into Janu Sirsasana. So I want you to extend your right leg forward so you have your left leg in. It's kind of like a half butterfly, and we have one leg extended forward. So this foot is gently pressing on the inside of the thigh. Now at home, again, if you want to use your strap for this one, you can. You can wrap that around the ball of the foot. Okay. And then if you're not using the strap, you'll just walk your hands down the mat as we fold it here in just a moment. So let's take an inhale together to lengthen. And then on your exhale, before we fold, invite the right side of the rib cage back, left side forward. So your shoulders are squared over that front leg. Take another inhale to lengthen your spine, maintain that rotation in your rib cage. And now you can go ahead and exhale, begin to fold forward over your front leg. Maybe walking your hands down the strap if you're using the strap. Or if you're not using the strap, you can just walk your hands closer towards the foot. Maybe you're able to reach for the foot. Doesn't really matter how far you go though. What's more important is how you feel when you're in the pose. So think about shifting that weight back into those hips, maintain that stability. Take another inhale to lengthen your spine. And then let's exhale, come all the way upright. We're going to come into the second side. So let's go ahead and extend the left leg forward. Inhale, bring your right foot in, drop the right knee over to the side for Janu Sirsasana. Okay, either holding onto the strap or bringing your hands on either side of the front leg. Take an inhale to lengthen. Before we fold, we'll pause so we can exhale, bring the right side of the rib cage forward, the left side of the rib cage back. Maintain that rotation. Inhale, pause to lengthen. And now exhale, walk it forward. Moving down into the sitting bones. Each time you inhale, see if you can lengthen your spine. As you exhale, maybe you pull just a little deeper if it's there. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come all the way back upright. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and bend the knees and plant the feet on the mat. Bring your hands behind you for support and just windshield wiper that out. Just taking a recovery pause here. Be sure to balance out both sides evenly before you come back upright. We're going to come onto all fours so we can do just a few more poses here. So we're back in our tabletop position. Palms are underneath the shoulders. The knees are underneath the hips. We're going to take an inhale, bring your right knee behind your right wrist and your ankle lines up with your left wrist. And then you'll lengthen through the back leg. Now, if you're at home and you need a little bit of support underneath the right hip, you could grab your blanket or even your bolster and just wedge that right there underneath that hip for support. Some of you may need it and some of you may not necessarily need it. So just do that if it makes sense. Hips are level. We'll take an inhale to draw the chest to open. And then on your exhale, you're going to fold. Maybe you come down to the forearms. Maybe you rest the forehead on a block. We're going to be here for several breaths. So just pause and notice your inhales and your exhales. Your next inhale, let's slowly start to ease out of the pose, pressing into the palms, coming back upright. And before we come into the second side, go ahead and roll onto the right hip. You might need to help this back leg around, just swinging the left leg around. So we're going to set up for pillars of fire. So pillars of fire, if it's possible in your body to stack knee over ankle and ankle over knee, I'll kind of face this way so you all can see from home. If you can do that, great. If not, that's fine too, because there are other options here. What you could do if this knee is up pretty high and you need to bridge that gap, then you could grab either your blanket or even your block and just kind of place that right there to support that knee. Okay, so that's an option. And if for some reason you're still not getting relief that way, then at that point what I would recommend doing instead is to extend your bottom leg forward so you're in more of a half pose. So you're still able to get that nice opening in that hip, but when we extend that bottom leg out, it just makes it a little bit more accessible, and you can still do the pose this way. Okay, so just be where you need to be here in your pillars of fire. Flex your feet. We'll take an inhale to lengthen, and if you're feeling enough, stay upright. Otherwise, on your exhale, very gently begin to fold forward. Keep shifting the weight back into the hips. Each time you inhale, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, maybe you fold just a little bit deeper if it's there. Let's go for 2 more cycles of the breath. Again, just take it slow, not rushing the practice in any way. Let your breath be your guide. Take an inhale to lengthen, root down into the sitting bones. Exhale, come all the way upright. Okay, so let's take another recovery pause here to just windshield wiper the knees again. You might feel a lot in the knees from that pose. Just release any residual tension. Balance it out on both sides. We'll bring our feet over to the side and once again make our way onto all fours so we can do that tabletop and pigeon on the second side. On your inhale, bring your left knee behind your left wrist, ankle lines up with the right wrist. Go ahead and lengthen through the back leg. Hips are level. Feel free to prop up the left hip if you need it with whatever you have at home. Hips are nice and level there and supported. All right, beautiful job. Take an inhale to lengthen and exhale, fold forward. resting on your block or resting your forearms on your mat. And stay connected with your breath here. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out the nose. See if you can keep an even count for your inhales and your exhales. So you can even count the breath in the mind, such as inhale 2, 3, 4, and exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and take 2 more on your own. And then after your second exhale, there's no rush, but when you're ready, inhale, press back up into the palms. Bring the left hip all the way down. You might need to help the back leg around as you find pillars of fire on this side. Remember those options that you have available. You can always extend that bottom leg out if you need to for the modified version. Okay, flex your feet. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at your hips. Again, if you're feeling enough upright, then you don't need to necessarily fold forward. Shift your weight back into your sitting bones. Maintain your sense of stability and connection with the earth beneath you. Find the calm through the chaos. Find the comfort through the discomfort. Take an inhale to lengthen your spine. And then exhale all the way back up. Unwind your legs. And one more time, we'll take that counter stretch. Neutralizing out the knees, the hips, if there's any remaining tension there. And then we'll come back to center. We're going to lie down on our back just to do a couple more poses before we settle into relaxation. So just coming all the way down onto your back, and you'll keep your knees bent. Walk your heels in a little closer, but keep your knees directly over your ankles. Palms are down onto the mat, okay? And then just find a neutral spine. So you're not pressing the back into the mat and scooping the tailbone, but you're also not arching. You're somewhere between those two extremes that feels neutral in your own body. All right, and then on your inhale, go ahead and lift your hips up towards the ceiling, coming into bridge pose. Very gently squeeze your glutes to protect your back. Now we do have some options in our bridge pose. You could totally just stay right here if you need a little bit more support. You could also wiggle the shoulder blades and elbows closer together and interlace your fingers, and that might even deepen the back bend for you. Continue to squeeze the glutes. 3 more cycles of the breath. On this last inhale, maybe the hips lift up just a little bit higher. And then exhale, release. Come all the way onto the back. Hug your knees into your chest. Take a couple of rocks back and forth on either side of your spine. We got one more pose here. So come back to center. Bring your arms out to a T, or you can make goalpost arms. And on your exhale, just let both of your knees come over to the right for a supine twist. Now you have the option to take your gaze away from the knees if you want to complete the twist into the neck. In this pose, our stability comes from rooting down into the shoulders. So just make sure that both of your shoulders are rooting down into the mat. As you inhale, you're breathing all the way down to the belly, feeling that expansion. And as you exhale, you're drawing your navel in towards your spine. Inhale, fill up the belly with your breath. Exhale, draw your navel in. On your next inhale, go ahead and bring your knees back to center. And then exhale, we'll just take the knees right over to the other side. And same thing here. Maybe you look past the shoulder, the right shoulder. Stay rooted into the shoulder blades. Feeling how your breath is naturally directed all the way down to the abdomen, feeling that expansion in your belly. And as you exhale, feel the navel very gently pull in towards your spine. Inhale back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. And if you want to take a few more rocks back and forth, you can. Otherwise, we're going to set up for final relaxation. Okay, so if you are at home and you want to put the support of maybe a bolster under your knees or a blanket under your head, or even if you're getting a little chilly at this point, you might want to cover up with a blanket. Just make yourself nice and comfortable, but whenever you're ready, we're going to just go ahead and extend our legs long. The eyes can either be closed or you could find a very soft gaze. Just do a final check-in here. See if there's anything else that you need to do to make yourself even 5% more comfortable. Helping to bring a deeper sense of ease to the body and to the mind. As you're lying here, you're slow, even breathing. It's a natural rhythm of the breath. Bring your awareness down to your feet. Feel the heaviness, feel the weight of the heels very gently sinking into the earth beneath you. At the same time that the heels are sinking into the earth, you feel the support of the earth rising back up to meet and support the back of the heels. Your feet are totally relaxed. Bring your awareness to the calves, noticing and feeling the support of the earth beneath the calves, feeling the heaviness. Your calves and your shins are completely relaxed. Bring your awareness to your knee. Feel the support of the earth underneath your knee joints. The knees feel comfortable and supported. The knees are relaxed. Feel the support behind your thighs. Support your yoga mat, the earth beneath you. Feeling the thighs sink into the earth. The thighs are totally relaxed. Bring your awareness to your pelvis. Feel the glutes, the hips, the sacrum, all supported from the earth beneath you. Notice the points that are particularly heavy, that are rooting down into the earth. The pelvis, front and back, sacrum, glutes are completely relaxed. Bring your awareness to your lower back. Feeling the gentle arch of the low back. The low back is totally relaxed. The lower abdomen is totally relaxed. Bring your awareness to your mid-back. Notice the earth very gently supporting the middle back, the shoulder blades, the middle back, and the front of the torso and chest. Upper abdominals are totally and completely relaxed. Feel the upper arms, the triceps, the biceps. Feel the support underneath your arms, the earth beneath you. Feeling the upper arms sinking into the earth, but all the while feeling supported. The upper arms are totally relaxed. Bring your awareness to your elbows. Feeling the weight of the elbows sinking into the earth beneath you. The front of the elbow, back side of the elbow are completely relaxed. Bring your awareness down to your forearm. Feel the forearm as it sinks into the earth, feeling heavy. Front of the arm, the forearm are totally relaxed. Bring your awareness down to your hands. Feel the back sides of the hands sink into the earth beneath you. Feel the curls as they the fingers gently curl into the palm. Fingers, the palm, front of the palm, back of the hand are completely heavy and relaxed. Bring your awareness to the back of your head. Feel the support under your head from the earth beneath you. The back side of the head, the front of the head, all the facial muscles, the forehead, temples, cheeks, chin, everything is relaxed. Feel the weight of your entire body. Feel the heaviness, feel the support, connection of the earth, lifting you up, supporting you. The entire body is relaxed. We'll start to invite gentle movements back to the body. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Just very slow, gentle movements. There's no need to rush. Maybe you gently nod your head back and forth a few times. Very gently and lovingly reawakening your body. Slow, gentle movements. And whenever you feel ready, coming to center, you can bend your knees. Hug your knees into your chest. Take a few rocks back and forth on either side of your spine. And we'll let the knees fall over to the right side of the mat, resting here in a fetal position for just a few moments, still feeling that support of the earth beneath you. And then when you feel ready, using the support of your left hand to very gently press yourself all the way up into a seated position. And you might want to sit on your bolster or your blanket if you're at home. We're going to end with a little meditation today before we close our time together. So just make yourself comfortable here. All right. And we're going to move into a practice called Gaya Mudra Kriya. This practice is really good for creating a balancing effect. It's also good for grounding, and it helps to cultivate a sense of patience. Right, so to practice, there is a hand mudra. You want to take your hand, it doesn't matter which hand, whatever one you're more comfortable. For me, it's normally my left hand on the bottom and then right hand on top. And then you're going to fold your bottom thumb on top of your top palm and then your other thumb on top. So it kind of looks like this from the front. Everything is just folding on top of itself. And then you'll take this mudra and place it right there at your heart center. Invite your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. So as I mentioned, Gaya Mudra Kriya helps to cultivate an overall sense of groundedness, balance, and patience with yourself as you move through on your journey. Letting go of any worries or concerns about the future and staying present in the current moment. Knowing that you are supporting yourself, Mama Earth is supporting you and she has your back, and people in your life are supporting you. We are all in this together. You are not alone. We'll begin the practice by inhaling together through the nose. Exhale out the nose. Inhale through the mouth through pursed lips. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale out the nose. That was one round. We're going to do 3 more rounds together. Continuing, inhale through the nose. Exhale out the nose. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale out the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the nose. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale out the nose. One more round. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the nose. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale out the nose. Just take a moment with your natural breath to just simply observe and notice how you feel. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release the hands to the knees or the tops of your thighs. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead, press your palms to touch. Exhale, hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Namaste means the light in me, honors the light in you. And to everybody at home, I say namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Be well, safe, healthy, and happy.